So it's really nice to see you, and welcome to everyone to this event, online event with Women in Digital Switzerland and Founders Institute. And we have amazing two guests. And I'm very happy that now I would say like almost 20 people choose to join our meeting. But what I would like to say is some kind of introduction that this meeting is recorded and we will share it on our YouTube channel. So you are welcome to revisit and share it with your colleagues and friends and find some useful things maybe and learning later after this event. So my name is Andrea Rubik. I'm VP of Strategy at Women in Digital. I'm also a marketeer and applied scientist, keen on building great products and growing businesses along the way. I will be your host. And we have two guest speakers today. I will introduce you to both of them, but you can already see some introduction in our announcement. But as I said before we start, I would kindly ask you to mute your speakers, and it would be nice that you turn on your cameras, but feel free what is the most convenient for you so that you can enjoy our conversation today. And if you have any question, please use this Zoom chat, and we will do our best to answer all your questions. And I will do my best to share many links in this chat, also which you can revisit during our meeting or afterwards. So I will first share a few words with you about Women in Digital. So Women in Digital, we are on the mission to lead change for greater diversity and inclusion in digital leadership in Switzerland. Our superpower is advancing careers at the intersection of business transformation, innovation, marketing, and entrepreneurship. We are remarkable community of 6,000 members, and at the moment we have chapters in 6 cities: Geneva, Zurich, Lausanne, St. Gallen, Basel, and Ticino, Lugano. And we had in the past more than 300 meetups. We have 2 streams of offers for individual members and partners. And just to name a few, like webinars, events. In the future, we will have also job boards, mentorship, fellowship, as you will hear about one today, lots of collaboration opportunities, and more. At the moment, you can find some of those information via our webpage, womenindigitalswitzerland.com. I already shared link in this chat. So you can contact us, but you will see that website is working in progress. So you will find soon new stuff, new things, and amazing things we will share very, very soon. You can also support digital transformation and elevate diversity and inclusion in digital economy in Switzerland. You can support as a donor. With donation, or you can join as a member. I will also share these links in our chat. I will first introduce you to Ingeborg Gesser-Chris. She's co-director of Founder Institute Switzerland. Ingeborg has an impressive career. She has over 25 years of experience discovering and unlocking growth opportunities across geographies and cultures. She is a board member and advisor, helping small and large companies get better at 21st century innovation. So Ingeborg, the floor is yours. And after your short presentation and your speaking, we will have questions. But what is also important, we will share one surprise with you, which is fellowship. But later we will talk and we will present it to you in more details. So Ingeborg, the floor is yours.
Thanks a lot, Andrea. And thanks for the lovely introduction. And I'm so glad you can hear me at all, because for most of the rest of the day, I had such connection problems. It was really embarrassing. So I fixed it now, I think, and I hope you can see me, hear me, and also see my screen very soon. Please tell me if and when you can actually see my screen. Yes? Excellent. Super. Okay. So, like Andrea said, I'm one of the directors of Founder Institute Switzerland, and that's basically the function in which I'm here today, to talk about what we have found, what the data say about what makes a successful tech entrepreneur. Just for background, you know, there are so many myths out there. Everybody's favorite myth, of course, is that you've got to be 3 male friends who are college dropouts and have a garage. Also, you need a large ego, and you need to start being an entrepreneur before you turn 20. And you need to have this, you know, what they call predatory aggressiveness. I already mentioned the garage. And interestingly, you need to be completely monomaniac about everything that you're doing, no room for anything else in your life. And that's the myth we keep hearing, right? About the most successful entrepreneurs, those that everybody wants to be like. And I think it's important to put a counterweight here, a counterbalance, because with those myths, it is really no wonder that many women still think that entrepreneurship is not for them. And that is not what we find. In Founder Institute, and this is not to advertise Founder Institute, this is just to tell you how much data we have that we can base our science on. Founder Institute has been around since 2009, when it started in Silicon Valley. So it has been around for 13 years now, and it operates in more than 200 cities across all continents. We have graduated over 5,300 founders, and of course that number is increasing every day. And the thing is that, sorry, that's too fast, that in order to get to 5,300 founders who've actually graduated from the program, we have tested so many more. More than 50,000 people have taken the test that we call the Entrepreneur DNA test. And because we have been around for such a long time, and we are following, and you know, we keep supporting our graduates after they graduate and when they are in market. So we can correlate our testing data with in-market success and with survival rate. And you know, Founder Institute being a tech company and a data company, basically, we keep refining and improving the test with everything that we learn. And by now, at least since 2021, the Founder Institute Entrepreneur DNA test has shown an accuracy of 85% in predicting real-world success. And this is from correlating the data. So, you know, the whole philosophy of Founder Institute is not a lifestyle or a mindset. It's based on data. That was the point I wanted to make. And Founder Institute has developed this test because of the fundamental belief that we have that it's all about finding great people. It's really more about the people than about the ideas. So, what have we learned? What does make a successful entrepreneur? And I thought I'd start with those characteristics that are not relevant. We have found that IQ, as you can test it in the traditional way, is not a factor that correlates with in-market success of founders. It was so irrelevant that we removed it from the assessment. And the same goes for conscientiousness. So, this like sense of responsibility, like you do your job, you do it well, you never miss a task, you have this sense of duty, and you work really hard. But that does not correlate with founder success, interestingly. Working harder and never missing a task or a to-do from your to-do list is not one of those factors. And also young age is not. There is no data from all of our 50,000 people that we tested and from all of our 200 local chapters to indicate that being around 20 is a positive factor for entrepreneurial success. There are a few others though, and these I wanted to introduce. These are the key characteristics that correspond positively. And this first one is often a surprise for people. Professional experience. It actually does make a difference. The most successful founders have had, some kind of career, some kind of professional experience, have developed some kind of expertise in a certain domain. And very often, they decide to become entrepreneurs in order to change something, address a problem that they have encountered in their area of expertise. So they know what they're talking about. They have experienced it firsthand. And that is one of those factors. So, just having a lot of ambition and a lot of vision, but not understanding the area in which you want to operate doesn't work so well. It's good to have some experience. And the data also shows that, an average of 35-year-olds is, more the winning formula than around 20 years old. Another factor, another characteristic that we find really correlates positively is high fluid intelligence, which basically means that other people call it mental agility, that you can quickly learn and apply. And what you've learned before, you can easily and without trouble apply to a new situation. It basically means that you understand things on a conceptual level and quickly apply, learn and apply, change. It's not about the IQ that you can test. Another characteristic is openness. And that is, in fact, almost the opposite of what the cliche sometimes says. It's not about being focused on your idea, on your solution, maniacally. It's about seeking new things. It's about being curious. It's about asking questions, challenging the norms, and being open to change. Especially that, being open to change, challenging the status quo, which is something obviously that you can test for. And the fourth characteristic that has a very, very high correlation is, moderate agreeableness, which basically means too much of it and too little of it. Both doesn't work. Agreeableness is an American term for, being able to cooperate with people, being considerate with people, that's agreeableness, being kind, being warm. And too much of that is not a great thing to have as an entrepreneur, but too little of that is not great either. So just being harsh, just being brutal is definitely not a success factor. Just being kind and not being able to be harsh with people when necessary is also not a success factor. In this agreeableness, what Founder Institute has found is that a moderate amount really works best. So, you know, we test for those traits, obviously, when we do the Founder Institute admissions test. So I didn't explain that because there isn't much time here today, but Founder Institute has an admissions test that aspiring entrepreneurs have to pass before they can go through the program. So we test for these positive characteristics, but we also test for those that we know are a problem. There are traits that will hinder you from being a successful entrepreneur. I was wondering, you know, take a moment to think for yourself what you think they are. What will hinder you from being a successful entrepreneur? And I always think that these are very, very telling, because I think we have experienced these characteristics. If we have had a professional life, we have experienced them more than once, probably. These are the 5 key red flags. Predatory aggressiveness, the one that we said in the myth is usually associated with successful founders. Predatory aggressiveness, where, you know, it's only about you, and it's basically, you know, you want to drive over everybody else and get everybody else out of the way and be too competitive and too aggressive. That's a red flag. Excuse making, one of my favorites. It's always somebody else's fault, or, you know, it's always the fault of the circumstances and it's never mine. That is something that we really watch out for. Deceit, not being honest. Emotional instability, where, you know, the ups and downs are just very extreme. And narcissism, my other favorites, aggressiveness, excuse making, and narcissism, where you think that you're really the master of the universe and it's all about you and you're the best. And you just enjoy so much how cool you are. That is not a great characteristic in an entrepreneur. It's going to be the downfall sooner or later, in my experience. So, you know, it's not humility. It's not introversion. Many people think introversion is a characteristic that correlates with entrepreneurship negatively. It doesn't. I wonder what expectations you're spinning in your head when I asked you to think about what those characteristics might be. And these are the ones that many people come up with. Like, you can't be humble, you can't be introverted. Oh yes, you can, totally. I know founders who are real introverts. I know founders who are really humble. And I know founders who have an altruistic purpose. It's not the same as being too agreeable. It's altruism that can be a very strong driving purpose. So, you know, gender is not a factor. It just isn't. We've never found that. And we keep wondering, why are women less likely to think that they have what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur? You know, it could be the lack of role models. I'm sure you have a lot of learnings in your organization, Women in Digital Switzerland. Maybe traditional gender roles mean that you have to put your family first, or you can't have that ambition for yourself to become an entrepreneur, to be your own boss. Sometimes we observe that women are even less likely to display some of the bad DNA, narcissism, predatory aggressiveness. But, you know, I don't like speculating about this. what I like is that Founder Institute has developed a science-based test to see for every single person, without actually knowing whether it's a man or a woman, whether they have what it takes to be an entrepreneur, and whether we can predict that they might be successful in the market. So, you know, for anyone who wants to take the test, it's easily available. It's on the Founder. I think I even brought the link here. Yes. Under fi.co/join/Switzerland, anyone can take the test. You can take it if you're in the audience here today. Your friends can take it. People who you know are aspiring to entrepreneurship and are wondering if they have what it takes can take the test and, yeah, see how they score. And in fact, and this is my last sentence on this, if you are a member of Women in Digital Switzerland, there is an even better link to take the test, which we will show you in a minute.
Thank you, Ingeborg. Like so many energy, you know. This is like, you know, all these findings and all this learning, it's also some kind of new energy for our audience to think about or to proceed with their endeavors in being startupper or entrepreneur. So I have like one question, because like so many things you already answered. I don't know if we have some, we have some questions already from our audience. First is some kind of administrative. Do we get a presentation? Can we share this presentation? But you have this recording, so you can go through this presentation. I think this is the best, how to say, and the easiest, how to say, answer to this question. And the second question is from Karen. Do any of these threats vary as hindrance in social innovation? Can you see this, Ingeborg?
I would have to open the chat, which, since I'm presenting, maybe I should stop presenting, then it will be easier.
Yeah, it will be.
So maybe I should rephrase the question, actually, because I don't think I phrased it right. Maybe it's whether we see a difference in some of the traits. Is this applicable to innovation as well as social innovation circles? I guess that's probably the right way to ask the question, since the hindrances is not the right frame.
Look, it doesn't apply to innovation, it applies to entrepreneurship. And
yes, sorry. Yep.
So Founder Institute includes the concept of social entrepreneurship in their definition. It's just that, let me put it like this, you have to be a profitable company. Like this test and the definition of entrepreneurship that Founder Institute has relates to somebody who wants to make a profitable and enduring company. Whatever you do with those profits, you can give all of them to a good cause. And of course, a good cause can be written into the DNA of your company, as long as it is a profitable one, because otherwise it will not endure. So if you define social entrepreneurship that way, same things apply, same things apply.
Do we have any other question? Because I have one question for you. What would be your advice how to start, or how to start this journey to be, or to, how to say, how to start a journey of entrepreneur? Is it the test something, it would be some kind of push, or it's idea and then test? What would be your advice for this, for somebody who has, how to say, drive, but not, especially as you mentioned this with female founders, it's some kind of barrier. It's lack of believing in ourselves and our power and possibility that we can fulfill this entrepreneur journey.
That is a question that I think you should in fact ask Veronique later. But yes, let me put it like this. It's not about the idea. It's not about the idea. Why? Because we've seen that your ability to change, your ability to adapt, even your own idea, is one of the key characteristics of a successful entrepreneur. The idea that you start out with is not the idea that you're going to end up with. And so I think it's much more important to, yes, of course, take the Founder Institute test. That's the best that I can recommend if you want to know if you have those characteristics. But also, I would take stock of myself. Like, is my desire to be an entrepreneur, is that just some vague dissatisfaction with my current situation? How do I imagine my life in 5, in 10 years from now? And potentially, I would also investigate the sacrifices that I'm willing to make for this. How important is it, in fact, for me? And is there anyone that I would like to take with me on this journey? Being a solo founder, as maybe we will hear more about, is an especially tough gig. And, you know, I think you should know very early on whether you want to go this alone or whether there is somebody that you want to do it together with.
Yeah, this was also interesting because I also wanted to ask you, there's some kind of follow-up. Is it also like a wise advice that you also talk with other entrepreneurs and to bring some kind of your pack into that journey?
Was that a question, Andrea?
This was more like, yeah, it was a question. Is it is it a good thing, that you approach also some entrepreneurs who already went through the journey, or you have some other advices?
Well, it's always good to learn from those who have already been there. But, that's the thing that you will also learn in Founder Institute. Dealing with feedback, dealing with input, you will hear so many different versions. And how will you know which ones to listen to and which ones are right for you? And I just think you need to have that burning desire. There has to be something that is really important enough for you to take that leap into, less of safety and less of security and a much more difficult journey in the first few years, where it will be a lot of struggle. It will be a lot of setbacks. What is so important for you that it will carry you through that very difficult journey? And if it's just, like I said, a vague idea that you would like to be your own boss, and you're not quite sure what you want to do, but something, I think that's not enough to take the leap. I think there's really a problem that you will want to have to solve, and a cause that is very important for you. In my experience, that really, really helps. And that's what I would ask myself, really take stock.
Yeah. So this is very nice segue to surprise what we have. Women in Digital Switzerland and Founder Institute, we have fellowship to announce. Somebody of you can be chosen in the sense of a new journey, which will be supported and sponsored by, as I said, Women in Digital Switzerland and Founders Institute. And for you, it will be like the first free, let's say, sponsored leap into entrepreneurship and being startupper. So Ingeborg, we can share the web page, and then you can briefly, in few minutes, say about this fellowship. I can.
Yes, absolutely. I can
You
do
can
that.
start. Yeah, you can start. I will now. I will manage. I will try to share the screen.
Well, while you do that, Andrea, so
can you see my screen now?
Yeah, but not the page that you want to share, really. I think you want to. I don't know. It's not really working so well, Andrea. Do you want to unshare maybe?
Okay.
Let me try.
Okay.
So this would be, can you see this?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. That's very good. So Founder Institute has all over the world, in every chapter, in every city, Founder Institute does a female founder fellowship, which basically means that one woman per chapter, per semester, will get the course fee refunded. Basically, can attend the whole program without a course fee. And in Switzerland, in this semester, which we are starting in September 2022, our fellowship partner is Women in Digital Switzerland. So basically, Women in Digital Switzerland is now extending to its members exclusively this opportunity to get the fellowship. And the way this will work is that anyone who is a member, I think, right, Andrea, you will probably
yes
only do this for members.
Yes, members
can apply through the link that you see hopefully on top of this page. And
I share it. I share it in the chat.
In the chat, that's great. So exactly, it's fi.co join WDS for Women in Digital Switzerland. So basically, because this is a partnership link, we will be able to see each and every woman who has applied to the program through this link. First, of course, you will have to pass the test and apply to the program and all of that. But once we close the applications for the semester, we will see all of the people who have applied through this specific link and what their ideas are. And then Women in Digital Switzerland will select one of them to attend the course for free.
Yes, so thank you so much for this very brief introduction. We will make more information, or we will prepare more information also, which we will share on our social media. So now you heard some kind of introduction. You can go to this link. You can read this more in details. And thank you very much, Ingeborg, for your part of presentation. And thank you so much for this information, and not only information, but also knowledge you shared. And as I always will repeat, the positive energy that people make this leap into something which will be next stage of their working life. So now we have our second speaker, Veronique Vermeulen, founder of Silatha. Veronique is entrepreneur and founder of Silatha. She's on the mission to inspire and strengthen women's confidence, empowering them in their journey to pursue a more enjoyable life, one meditation at a time. Welcome, Veronique, and thank you for being with us. Now, floor is yours. So without further ado, you can go with your presentation and with the surprise what you prepared for our audience today.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Ingeborg, for that presentation. So I actually did Founder Institute, so I'm one of the founders there. And I never saw that presentation. So I've done the test, but never saw this. And I thought that was a very interesting outcome. So thank you for sharing that. And another thing, I didn't want to interrupt, but while you were talking about also what is important as a founder, and I think especially if there's women here who do want to become a founder, well, definitely would encourage you to do it. But what Ingeborg was saying, I can totally second that. That you really you shouldn't become a founder because you're unhappy where you are. It shouldn't be like, oh, well, I don't like my boss, you know, I'll do it myself. Because being a founder isn't easy, and it's a very tough journey. And if you're not really passionate about what you want and why you do it, if I look back at so I had quite a long career before I started Silatha, and I had way more money, I had way more free time, and so I think a lot of people start their own company because they believe they see Mark Zuckerberg or the garage people that Ingeborg spoke about, and think they will quickly get rich and they can say whatever they want, and that is definitely not the case. If you grow, you get investors on board and you'll have less to say, and also you will invest pretty much every second of your time in it. So really do it because you want to change something, and because you want to see this change happening, and not because you don't like your manager, that just look for another job or find a solution with your manager or solve it like that. So that's my 2 cents I wanted to add on what you were just discussing. And so I don't have a presentation. I'm just here to, I hope you have loads of questions because I love to answer them. And I can talk a little bit more about who I am, why we started Silatha, and why we think this is something to give up a lot of free time, because I think it is an important purpose that we work on. And then I did prepare to do a little meditation with all of you, where since this talk is all about bringing out the success as an entrepreneur, that's something I'd like to have as a topic on a meditation. So I'm happy to get that started in a bit, if everyone is up for that. So yeah, so I can tell a little bit more about me. So the reason why I started Silatha is a very personal one. So it started about 10 years ago when I ticked all the boxes, basically. If you look at it in the sense of having a great job and life, and I thought, well, is this all there is to life? Because I didn't feel happy. I had done all these things that society expects from you, but it wasn't really fulfilling me. And that was the first time that I actually then got in contact with meditation. So this is 10 years ago. Meditation wasn't a big thing then. There were no meditation apps, and I had absolutely no idea what meditation was, to be honest. And so I went to Nepal to go to a meditation course. Never did that course, by the way, but got distracted. And I also know since then that whatever you need in life will come to you if you're open to it, because meditation found me. As I went paragliding in the Himalayas, I walked up to 5,500 meters, and there was a pretty solitude trip. And before I went on that trip, I met this Buddhist man who explained to me what meditation was, and he basically just told me, you focus on your breathing and you honor the breath for the life it gives you. I thought, well, that's pretty simple, but it wasn't so simple to actually do that. But by going up, walking up, and basically focusing on the here and now, and not being in thoughts all the time, the day after the paragliding, I felt amazing, and I felt this happiness from within that I couldn't remember that I felt before. And that was the moment when I realized there's something I can I can give to this world. I didn't know what at that moment. I didn't know that it would be all about meditation and empowering women, but I knew that everyone has a gift that you can share with the world, and I was going to find out what was mine. And so I went on many meditation trips, meditation retreats. I went to monasteries and lived with the nuns, and I always had these amazing experiences. But what I struggled with was to really make it a daily habit. And when I would come back to my day-to-day job and life, I would lose the glow from those weeks of like being in the present moment and meditating. And so I started to do a lot of research on how to build a new habit, because it's very hard. If you look at New Year's resolutions, less than 10% of people actually succeed in doing that. And they have a huge motivation, but it's just very hard to change your habits. And what I realized is changing it is really helping if you have a cue, if you have a tangible object. And it's funny because Ingeborg spoke before about letting go of your idea and starting into another one, and we actually started more as a jewelry company where we had these beautiful pieces that could anchor you, and that were there to help you to set your intention and then remind you during the day, and you use it during meditation. And so it would support you in creating that meditation habit. But then we figured out that people would buy the jewelry, but weren't meditating so much. And having about 17 years of experience in corporate world, I thought it would. I also know very well what's going on there, and I see so many women struggling with the gender bias. Having kids and combining that with career is a very tough one. But also things like menopause that is barely spoken about. Even doctors know very little about the menopause. There's just very little knowledge on the female body, because it's so complex to do research on it, and so often it's simply skipped. And they just only since 1993 there is scientific studies on the female body. So knowing all that and realizing all that, we really wanted to make a change in the corporate world and see how can we create this world and shifting it from something that's created by man for man into something that is way more a place where women feel empowered and valued, and therefore they perform better and they stay longer. Because we've seen since the pandemic, 1 in 3 women has left the workplace or downsized her work, and that's very shocking. So that's what we do. That's where we're here for with Silatha, to really change that workplace. And yeah, I'm very passionate about that. And I'm looking at the time. It might be good to do a little meditation, but I'm also happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, I don't know, just to check if we have questions. I have one question for you. So it's like it's amazing how your story resonates with everything what Ingeborg said. So it's like it started somewhere and then you were on the journey, and also like very nice example that you were like open to hear and to change and to transform during that journey. But I would ask you, you know, what is your favorite aspect of being entrepreneur today?
It's really having an impact. So you can really look into the world and say, what is it that is important to me and what do I want to change? And then really have an impact. And being an entrepreneur, you have a smaller company, and so there's not hour-long meetings. It's very much to get things done, to set out a strategy and get it going and create that impact that you want. And I think that is very, very special about being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, a purpose. So it's, I don't know if we have questions from the audience. No. Yeah, we have one. The most difficult moments, if you can remember any. So shortly, if you can answer, sorry.
Most difficult moments, well, it's honestly, it's a roller coaster, so things are happening, and what I learned also with the meditation, I must say, is to let things go and not go into it and not be too tough on myself, because that's how I used to be. I could like punish myself and beat myself up for everything that would go wrong. But I think right now it's impossible. If you are an entrepreneur, you're building something, you will make mistakes, and there are a lot of things that don't go as you wanted. And I think the trick is to learn from it. So really understand why things happened as they did, and what can you do different the next time, and then let it go. Because if you keep it, you'll burn out in no time.
Yeah, and very briefly, and I think this is also important, but I know that we are very tight with the time. So why Female Founders Institute, and why would you recommend it?
Yeah, so for me, it was really an important moment. I think when you start, so I have a business background, but being an entrepreneur is really, really different. All of a sudden, you're the CEO, you're the finance director, you're the HR director, you're doing marketing, you're doing legal. It's just all of a sudden you're doing everything, and it's very tough. And then having a founder institute who can help you, guiding you on your way, making the right connections. So they have loads and lots of mentors that you can discuss also your company with. When you start off with your company, you cannot hire the best people. I used to work with the top best people in business, and these people are not affordable when you start a company. And so having those mentors who can really give you an eye level feedback and steer you into the right direction is very important. But I think another thing that you kind of also steered it to before is what Founder Institute does is bringing you in groups. And actually, I'm still in contact. I must say I'm bailing out now, but we're still having this group of peers where you keep supporting each other. So even after the program, you support each other on your journey, on your way to see whatever you comes on your way, and help you to overcome it, to support each other, and that's very valuable.
So thank you for this. We unfortunately, yeah, we will answer all these questions later or somehow, so because we have to follow our agenda, and Veronique, she has something, or better to say, some amazing surprise for all of us, and technique we can learn and have in our and take in our own lives.
Yes, so I'm also happy to stay a bit longer, but I think it's nice if we can do meditation and you're not stressed out if you have to leave at 7. So maybe we do a short meditation now, and then I will be fine to answer all questions that are still there afterwards. I shortly mentioned what we still have is how we started Silatha, which is this anchor. And I don't want to talk about that too long, but if you have something with you right now, maybe a piece of jewelry, something you can grab, something small, maybe it's a little stone or a little something that you have around you, take that and hold that as your anchor. And if you don't have anything right now that would be a good anchor for you, take a little paper and write on there your intention for this meditation. And I want your intention to be something positive that you wish yourself more of in your life. So something that you do struggle with, but phrase it in a positive way, that this is something that you own, that you have. And I mean, not possess. So it's really about if you are a mom and when your kid has a tantrum, you become very emotional, you can tell yourself, when my kid has a tantrum, I stay calm. Or when you want to be in a meeting and you know you lose your confidence, especially around a certain person or in certain situations, your intention could be, I know I can do this, or I know I'm good. I know I can handle this. Or so phrase this for yourself right now. And then let's get started. So what is important is that you keep a straight spine. You can put your legs whatever way you want. You can put your hands whatever way you want, but make sure that your spine is straight, and imagine an invisible cord that is pulling you up from the top and down from the bottom. And maybe look a little bit down, like a meter in front of you. And then if you're ready, close your eyes. And I'd like you to take a deep breath in through your nose. Follow the air all the way to your belly, and then strongly but slowly breathe out through your mouth. And while you breathe out, let go of any tension in your body. And we do that again. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe deep into your belly. And then you slowly breathe out through the mouth. And while you breathe out, you let go of any tension in the body. And one last time, in through the nose. And slowly out through the mouth. And let go of any tension remaining in your body. Now keep your eyes closed and relax your skull. Relax the muscles in your forehead and your eyelids. Relax your jaw and your cheeks. Relax your mouth, the tongue inside of your mouth. And now relax your whole head. Relax your neck and your shoulders. There's always a lot of tension in the shoulders. Let it go. And relax your back and your arms. Relax your chest and your belly. And now relax the muscles in your legs, your upper legs and your lower legs. Relax your feet. And now feel how your whole body is relaxed. And if you want to, you can take one more deep breath in through the nose. And when you breathe out, let go of any tension remaining in the body. And now I want you to follow your natural breathing. Breathe in through the nose and follow the air all the way to your belly. Notice a little pause at the end of your breath, and then slowly breathe out through your nose. And do that in your own rhythm. Simply feel the air coming in through your nostrils. Follow it all the way into your lungs and into your belly. And feel how it's slowly releasing from your body. And do that in your own rhythm. And while you focus on your breathing, listen to these words. So what does self-realization mean to you? Being fulfilled, being successful, being aware. The process of self-realization begins the moment you start living your truth and honoring your purpose. Are you on the path towards self-realization? Imagine yourself as your older self, as an old person sitting in a garden or a balcony. And as you sit there, as the older you, maybe 80 years old, start to reflect on the events of your life until now. What are some of your biggest accomplishments? How does your career look like? And your family? Where have you traveled? Which friends are you still keeping up with while you're 80 years old? Do you feel satisfied about what you have accomplished? Or do you feel like time is running out? Now be honest with yourself as you answer these questions from the perspective of the older self. And your answers will shine a light on the areas of your life where you can improve. Perhaps you want to be a best-selling author, but you have not started to write a book. Maybe you want to have a big family, but you prioritize work over dating or socializing. Once you start taking the steps towards living your truth, self-realization will bring you closer to making your dreams a reality. Now give yourself a moment to reflect on this. Just imagine yourself there sitting and looking back at your life until now. How do you feel about it? Now take a slow and deep breath and mindfully hold your anchor. So if you manage to find a piece that can be your anchor as of now, hold it, maybe with one hand, maybe with two, maybe hold it against your heart, whatever is comfortable for you. And now go to your intention. What do you wish for yourself? What do you wish yourself more of in your life? And really feel that intention. And you can hold on to your anchor or let it go. And I want you to take a deep breath and imagine yourself gaining clarity. So breathe in clarity. And then as you breathe out, imagine yourself letting go of anything preventing you from living your truth. Surrender your need to have all the answers. Instead, have trust that clarity will come to you with time. So take a few breaths and breathe in clarity and realization, and breathe out any obstacles. You have that clarity, breathe it in. And while you breathe out, let go of any of the obstacles. To reach your full potential, you have to set goals that will stretch you. You must not be afraid of taking risks. You must learn to recognize opportunities and have the courage to pursue them. You have to make better choices that will provide better results. And finally, you need to avoid negative influences of other people and surround yourself with successful people who will encourage you to pursue your dream. Now let those words sink in while you hold your anchor and you connect to your intention. And feel how that intention is within you. Feel that you have the power. Feel that this is already there. You have everything it takes. Now take one more breath in with clarity. And when you breathe out, I want you to breathe out any obstacles that are still there in your way. And you can keep doing that anytime for yourself, breathing in clarity and breathing out any obstacles. Now slowly let go of your anchor. Maybe shake a little bit your shoulders and your head. And then slowly come back and open your eyes when you're ready in your own time. And I hope I went a little bit over time, but I hope you enjoyed that.
Thank you, Reniak. I hope that all of us enjoy it, or at least find and learn new technique so that they can also use in their daily life and energy to pursue their dreams or next stage in their work life or working life. So I would like to finish this session, this online event. I hope that we will see you soon on some new event, which will be very empowered as this one. You can find all our events on our web page, as I mentioned, and I or this put this in chat. And this is it from us, from Women in Digital, but also I would like to give a big thank you to our guests, to Ingeborg and Veronique, for sharing this knowledge and this experience, because I believe that this is precious, and this is something what is also valuable on all our journeys, no matter which one we have, because it's like 20 people, it was here, more than 20 people, and I believe that each journey is different, but good intentions help with the knowledge, and sharing experience is very important, and this is what we do in Women in Digital. And also I would like to thank to Founders Institute, because also it's important that we have this force on our side and as our partner. And if you have any question, please reach out to us. You have so many contacts. Also, you can reach out to us by LinkedIn, but also with email. And last but not least, if you are interested to be part of Women in Digital, join us as a member. Or if you are interested to be ambassador for Zurich chapter, also please reach out to us. There is some nice opportunities in leading Zurich chapter. So thank you from me, and thank you from Women in Digital, from all of us. You've been amazing audience, and I hope that you learned a lot, and I hope that you have new energy and light for the rest of the day and rest of the week and rest of your lives.